That, oh, why are my chicken only dying at night? Whereby you just, when you wake up each morning, you find some chicken are dead, but during the day you don't find any chicken that is dead. So you keep on wondering, why are my chicken only dying at night? I want to show you over here. You can find that your chicken have swollen over here, and those chicken are unable to walk. Floods are ravaging all over the world. Most people have lost their lives due to floods. So if you are doing poultry farming, how are you able to mitigate this problem? How are you able to prevent your chicken house from getting flooded? First of all, I send my condolences to those people that have lost their lives in the floods. I've seen happening in Brazil, Australia, Dubai, Kenya, even in USA, all over the world. There's a lot of floods. My condolences. So you can see, this is our poultry house, and this is what we are doing to prevent flooding of the poultry house. You know, initially how we constructed this poultry house, we constructed it in a way of whereby the slope is on the other end. So when the rain drops, it brings this water like this, then it ends up on the other lower end. You can see how the land is structured in a way. It is a small plot whereby we have constructed this poultry house. So that's why we constructed the poultry house in this way. And the biggest thing that we are encountering on this poultry farm, before we constructed this trench, you can see this trench that we have constructed over here. It is like 1.5 feet deep, this trench. We have constructed this trench so that we can be able to prevent flooding of the poultry house. And how can this really affect your poultry house? We realized that this floor over here, this floor, we had constructed this, but you're only using bricks. And we found out that water was getting to this big level, high level over here. Even you can see there are some molds over here. So when the water was getting too high, it was able to penetrate into the poultry house. So we ended up having wet litter. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some diseases that can be caused during the rainy season, and how can you be able to prevent such diseases from occurring on a poultry farm. So guys, before we continue with this video, make sure you like the video. Like the video and share the video. Like the video and share the video. Thank you guys. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can be able to get a lot of content from the poultry man, the actuary farmer. So guys, let's continue with the video. So we realized that, and that is why we dug this trench over here. So when the water drops, sorry, I've startled the chicken a bit. So when the water drops from up there, we wanted to put some gutters over here. That is a story of another day. So when the water drops from here, it comes direct to this gutter, then it runs all the way. It hasn't been completed yet, so it runs all the way up to the end, then it will be redirected to go downstream, okay, following the slope. So as you can see, from that end, that is the topper part, then it goes as it gets deeper up to that other end whereby it is around 3 feet deep. So the water will be able to go away, because when I will get into the poultry house, I will show you what I'm talking about. Because we realized that when we were doing this poultry house, we were not so keen with the flooring, so we never put a lot of concrete on the floor on some other parts because of the budget. And we later realized that that was a very bad move. So our next poultry house, we will be able to do that. Make sure that you have made your poultry floor to be concrete so that it cannot allow any seepage of water into the poultry house. Because if you have a wet litter here, you can end up getting diseases like fall cholera, fall typhoid, pulmonium disease, salmonellosis. Those kind of diseases can end up occurring on your poultry farm, and that is what we want to prevent. Because when you have just wet litter in your poultry farm, that will accelerate those diseases within an instant, and that can lead to huge losses on your poultry farm, because you can incur deaths, and also you can incur a lot of money in the purchase of the drugs for the chicken, and that is what we want to prevent. So That's why we had constructed this trench over here, to prevent the flooding, because the water was getting high, then it was seeping into the poultry house, and it was really messing us up, because in the morning when you wake up, you end up finding out that the litter is already wet and it has started smelling. So you need to hire some people to come and remove the litter, and then you also need to go and buy new litter, the wood shaving, so that you can be able to put on the floor. And this house, like this one, it can consume like 100 sacks, and each sack goes like for 50 Kenyan shillings, which is like $0.4, so that will be around $40 at every time. So if it gets wet within a very short time, you'll be able to change it, because if you don't change it, you'll incur losses because the chicken will get sick. So that is what we were doing, just changing the litter after 2 days, because this water was seeping into our poultry house. And you can see the maize over here, how they are growing on very properly. So I want to take you into the poultry house so that I can be able to teach you some of those diseases that I'm talking about. The first disease, before we head into the poultry house, the first disease that can attack your poultry house or your poultry chicken, the chicken during this rainy season, is known as fowl-pox. And how does fowl-pox come about? Fowl-pox, the main thing that usually is a carrier of fowl-pox is known as the mosquito, a mosquito. The mosquito are the biggest carriers of fowl-pox. Fowl-pox is whereby you get the circular lesions on the wattles, on the combs of the chicken, and even on the mouth of the chicken. And also this can be accelerated, whereby you can find out that it has attached itself in the mouth of the chicken, those around this area, whereby you can find the chicken that have that fowl-pox has attacked that farm. They can be around the mouth. Then you can end up even getting it attacking the windpipe of the chicken. This can lead to those chicken gasping for air, whereby you see it like breathing like, so it ends up breathing that way. So that can be the advanced stages of the fowl-pox. So the only better part is that you only need to vaccinate your fowl-pox earlier. So if you are having chicken whereby the fowl-pox can attack your farm at a very early stage, make sure you can vaccinate them as early as 2 to 3 weeks on, using the live fowl-pox vaccine, whereby you put it on the wing stab of the chicken. So if you're able to do that, you'll be able to prevent fowl-pox from attacking your poultry farm. Okay? And also, so how will you be able to prevent fowl-pox from attacking your poultry farm around your area? So the first thing what you have to do, make sure that there is no stagnant water. I've said it is during the rainy season, so there's a lot of stagnant water flooding, so the water has stagnated in an area, and maybe you can see the empty cans, and the empty cans are around your poultry house. So that's why also when we are digging this trench, we are making sure that we are clearing any bushes around our area, and those open cans that are around our poultry farm, we make sure that we remove them, because in those open cans you can see water in it, and then the mosquitoes can lay their eggs in those cans. So if the mosquito lay their eggs in those cans, they will multiply faster in that area, and that can bring to fowl-pox occurring on your poultry farm. Then I think let's head to the second disease. Let's talk as we head into the poultry house. The second disease that can attack your poultry farm is known as fall cholera. Fall cholera is a bacterial disease that can attack your poultry farm. And the funny thing with this disease is that it has these almost similar symptoms as those of Newcastle disease. Let me head to the poultry house. So we were talking about the disease known as fall cholera. Fall cholera is one of the most funniest disease that can attack your poultry farm. I really don't like that disease, because it has these characteristics, the same characteristics as Newcastle disease. You know, why am I saying this? You know, fall cholera, the first symptom of fall cholera is that it has this greenish diarrhea, and also it has yellowish diarrhea, and also it has grayish diarrhea. You can see how this chicken are very satisfied. So I want to show you whereby the water was penetrating into our poultry house before we continue with the fall cholera. So you can see, even when you can see over here, you can see how wet it is. You can see. So the water was perforating and then it was entering into the poultry house. So that's why we have dug that trench over there. So when it rains, the water can run all through up to the other end. So you can see, so this disease is known as fall cholera. It has almost similar characteristics as Newcastle disease. So you can confuse it with Newcastle disease because this watery discharge, it is greenish. It also can be yellow or gray. You can think that this is Newcastle disease, but it is fall cholera. And also another symptom of fall cholera is that it has these watery eyes, and also you can see nostril and mouth discharge, of some discharge from the mouth and the nostrils. So that is another symptom of fall cholera. Okay, and also there is this predominant thing that you can confuse it, this symptom that you can confuse it with. This disease is known as perosis, whereby you find that the chicken has swollen on the leg joints. For example, around the knee area here, let me show you. I want to show you over here. You can find that your chicken have swollen over here, and those chicken are unable to walk. So you may think that it is Marek's disease. No, that disease is fall cholera, whereby the chicken have swollen over here. Okay, fall cholera is a very funny disease. Now let me continue. Then during the advanced stages of fall cholera, you'll end up finding out, I think most of you have observed that, these wattles and clumps. You see, the wattles and clumps of a healthy chicken should be like this, very bright red, almost like that drinker. That is how a healthy chicken is determined, very bright. So when you find out that your chicken, these wattles over here are blue or purplish in color, blue and they are droopy or purplish in color, just know that that chicken has been attacked by fall cholera. Another symptom of fall cholera, you can see how these chicken are satisfied, very, very good, very, very satisfied. Okay, why have I said that this disease is almost, you can confuse it with Newcastle disease? Because it has the twisting of the neck, torticollis, that is what it is called, the twisting of the neck, torticollis, whereby the chicken turns its neck, then it starts running around like a mad chicken. So you may end up thinking that your chicken are suffering from the advanced stage of Newcastle disease, but yet your chicken are suffering from that fall cholera. So that is what you may think, that the chicken is suffering from Newcastle, and that is what I was saying. And also another symptom is whereby you have difficulty in breathing, and also you can have loss of appetite of your chicken. So that is one disease that can be caused by a lot of rain, and the rain can lead to wet litter in your chicken coop, and the wet litter can lead to that disease, whereby the bacteria can find a conducive environment for them to multiply, because when the chicken sleep on the floor and on a wet floor, they generate heat, and when this chicken generates a lot of heat on this wet floor, those diseases that are in that wet floor over there, they can have a conducive environment for them to multiply very fast. So make sure you are also constructed some roosting patches for your chicken. Okay, and also make sure when you are making your feed, you add some oil in your chicken feed. Okay, that will be able to help that one big time. And how can this fall cholera be treated? Fall cholera can be treated by using of sulfacloxin sodium monohydrate. That can be able to treat that disease, or you can go the organic way. I have videos of how you can treat those diseases using the organic way, so make sure you watch them out so that you can be well educated about this disease that can attack your poultry farm. Okay, what is another disease that can attack your chicken during the rainy season? Other diseases that can attack your chicken during the rainy season are pulloram, E. coli, and salmonellosis. These diseases can attack your poultry farm, and they are caused by bacteria. This disease, for example, in Poultry, we have this whitish, pasty diarrhea from your chicken. So if you experience that on your poultry farm during the wet season, you have a high likelihood that your chicken are suffering from the Poultry disease. And also, whereby you can find out that your chicken have reduced the feed intake. Don't say that, oh, I am now saving on my feed. No, maybe your chicken are suffering. So make sure you are really keen on how you are feeding your chicken. If you do that, you'll be able to solve that problem. And during this wet season, you'll end up finding out that this chicken, during the night, they usually try and huddle themselves together. How does this come about? So, you know, this chicken during the night, they usually feel a lot of cold. So when this chicken, they feel a lot of cold, you can see this chicken, they are very full. Even you can see they have feed remaining. You see? They have feed remaining over here. So, you know, this chicken during the night, they usually feel some cold. Yes, they have feathers, but they usually feel some cold in it. So when they feel some cold, you can end up finding them, they are huddling themselves and trying to sleep in the corner. One fan asked me how can they be able to prevent sudden death on a poultry farm. You know, these things you may end up thinking that your chicken are dying from a disease. So you may say, thinking that, oh, why are my chicken only dying at night? Whereby you just, when you wake up each morning, you find some chicken are dead. But during the day, you don't find any chicken that is dead. So you keep on wondering, why are my chicken only dying at night? So you may think that your chicken are sick. Then you may end up just buying antibiotic or using the organic way to try and treat the diseases. But in the real sense, your chicken are huddling themselves together during the night and they are suffocating each other. Because, you know, during the wet season, this chicken usually eat a lot of food. So when the chicken eat a lot of food, they eat a lot of food so that they can be able to produce the heat for their bodies, to warm their bodies, and they drink a little water. So when these chicken huddle themselves together, they will bring a lot of heat in that area. So when they bring a lot of heat in that area and there is a weaker chicken that maybe doesn't have a lot of strength, and these other big chicken have slept on it. So what will really happen to that chicken? And these chicken are really generating a lot of heat in that corner whereby they have slept. They can lead to suffocation and death of those chicken. So you may end up thinking that your chicken are dying from a disease, but it's just due to suffocation. And how can you be able to curb these menace? The only simple way of how you can be able to curb these menace is whereby during around 6, I can't say 6 because some other people in some other countries, they usually experience different time. Because here in Africa, when it is around 6 in the evening, we are on the equator, so the dark is getting in. So what we usually do, you get into the poultry house, then you make sure you get all those chicken from the walls, then you make them sleep in the middle of the poultry house. If you are able to do that, you will be able to prevent such cases from reoccurring on your poultry farm. If you do that, you will be able to prevent those cases. So this means that any case of mortality during the night due to suffocation, you will be able to curb it, and that is what we want. So in any ways how you'll be able to do that, just make sure you follow what I have told you. Okay? And also, most of these diseases during the rainy season, they usually come about whereby the chicken are producing a lot of heat and your house is fully locked. So there is no proper airflow into your chicken house. So whenever even one chicken gets a disease and then it poops on the floor, that can lead to other chicken pecking the poop. Then it can lead to the transmission of the disease. And also another way of how those diseases can be transferred in the chicken coop is whereby you do a lot of feed rationing, whereby you are giving a little feed to your chicken. So when your chicken are malnourished, they're susceptible to getting a lot of diseases. So if you are able just to curb that, you'll be able to prevent those kinds of diseases from attacking your poultry farm. Okay? So how will you be able to curb all these other instances of flooding into your chicken? I have told you have to dig a trench. If you are able just to dig that trench, you will be able to prevent that water from seeping into your poultry house and causing all these kind of diseases that are usually most predominantly during the wet season. So if you are able to do all those things that I've told you guys, you'll be able to be a successful, profitable venture, and you'll be able to mint a lot of money out of this venture. And that is what we want. That is what we want. So make sure when it's raining, you drop those taplons, and when the rain recedes, then you make sure that you let the taplons up again so that it can bring fresh air into the chicken coop. So, and also don't do overstocking during the rainy season, because when you overstock the chicken, they usually make the litter wet very fast. So when the litter is wet very fast, meaning that there is no enough sun so that it can be able to dry the litter, so you can end up keep on changing the litter over and over, so that you can be able to prevent such diseases from occurring on your poultry farm. You can see our chicken are growing on very, very properly, and that is what we want. Guys, if you haven't watched my previous video, whereby I was talking about how to use the organic medicine unlike the chemical medicine, make sure you click up here so that you can be able to learn something from that video. Thank you guys, and make sure you like the video.